production-based motorcycles in the world on the line. Mick Grant on the Suzuki in pole position. Roger Marshall on the Honda, second fastest, and Keith Ewan on the Yamaha, third best. Steve Parrish on another Yamaha next to him, and Graham Wood on yet another Yamaha, completing the front row of the grid. This is an 8-lap race. It's based on the Motorcycle News Superstock competition. This is not a championship round, but everybody's in there, and Roger Bennett came through from the second row of the grid, and they're charging and elbowing into the first corner. It's Mark Sal, number 4, who takes the lead, and the rest of the field streaming out behind them. Well, all the manufacturers well-based in this race.
But Mick Grant there, who has been the hero of Superstock so far, well at the back of the field.
So, and Roger Burnett goes through on the Honda. It's Roger Burnett, number 9. Behind him, number 4, Mark Sal in second place. Roger Marshall in third spot on bike number 11. Then Trevor Nation on bike 21 in fourth place. And the first 4 storm into the hairpin, diving through on the inside. Oh, and Roger Marshall in big trouble then. Really big trouble as Mark Sal threw his motorcycle across the front of him. And there's Roger Burnett, number 9. He's pulling away, and look at Mark Sal closing the gap on Roger Burnett. Trevor Nation in third place now. Well, Burnett's lead just absolutely gobbled up there by Mark Sal, number 9. That's Roger Burnett, the young man from Oulton up in Lincolnshire, a near neighbour of Roger Marshall and a teammate in the Rothmans Honda Britain squad. Out in front, but Mark Sal closes right up, and here they are in a gaggle. Burnett out in front, he's got a clear track and plenty of room. Mark Sal is in second place. Trevor Nation, then it's Steve Parrish in fourth position. Well, look at them, 4 abreast in battling for second place. Trevor Nation now up into second spot. Roger Burnett, the race leader. Trevor Nation. Then that looks like Mick Grant. Mick Grant, in fact, further down. Roger Marshall, my apologies. Roger Burnett, Trevor Nation, Mark Sal, number 4. Well, in fact, that's Martin Taylor, I think, who's in second place. Looks a little bit, very much like Trevor Nation. In fact, we'll get it right finally. It's number 145, and that's Mark Boughton. Well, Mark Boughton, the young Londoner, the London car dealer, looks very much like Trevor Nation to me, but it's not, and he's all set to have a go at Roger Burnett. Mark Boughton, private entrant helped by London Industrial Services and Slipstream Motorcycles, a privateer, and he's battling right out in front in this Superstocks race. He spent a whole day here on Thursday at Oulton Park trying to get the bike sorted out, and he's chasing this man, Roger Burnett, the factory Honda rider, bike number 9, and behind him, bike number 145, Mark Boughton, former Suzuki factory rider, now back in the ranks of the privateer, and there's a whole bunch breathing down his neck. Mark Sal is in third spot, but then Mark Boughton in second place, and he's holding off the factory men. Roger Marshall moves through. No, Graham McGregor through into third place now. They're swapping and charging about, but there is Roger Burnett still holding a comfortable lead. Mark Boughton is behind. Graham McGregor is there in third position. Roger Burnett, Mark Boughton, bike number 145, then number 17. That's Graham McGregor on a Suzuki. So it's Honda leading from Suzuki and Suzuki. Well, this is Roger Burnett's best ever ride, and Graham McGregor sees a gap. Mark Boughton leaves a little bit too much room, and he's pushed back to third place. Well, Graham McGregor took a real heavy tumble here in practice on Thursday, so McGregor knows that you've got to treat this Oulton Park circuit with a great deal of respect. McGregor, number 17, second. Roger Burnett, number 9, leading. 145. Mark Boughton is third. This is the third lap in this race. There's number 17, Australian Graham McGregor. Started his racing career as a sidecar passenger before he came over to Europe. Borrowed a 350cc machine from George Beale at a Brands Hatch meeting and made a big name for himself. And Graham McGregor looking as if he wants to make a name for himself here. Roger Burnett leads. Graham McGregor is second. Mark Boughton is third. Roger Marshall is fourth. Steve Parrish is behind him. Then it looks as though Mick Grant has moved up behind him, and look at McGregor, number 17 on the Suzuki, closing on the inside, looking for the gap, and is he through? No, he's not. Has to ease off. Graham McGregor poised to charge through. He's through. Graham McGregor lead at the end of the third lap. Burnett's not having any, though, side by side, and Burnett has to ease off. Graham McGregor had the better racing line, and Mark Boughton there under pressure from Roger Marshall, and Boughton will not be pushed back. What a brave bit of riding there by Mark Boughton. 17, Graham McGregor is the race leader. Behind him is number 9, Roger Burnett. In third spot is Mark Boughton. Fourth is Roger Marshall.
And now McGregor, he has a clear road ahead of him as we watch Steve Parrish dive up the inside of the group behind, but McGregor on the oil-cooled Suzuki getting away now as Burnett comes under pressure from Marshall.
So Graham McGregor leads, Roger Burnett's there, then Roger Marshall, Mark Boughton. There is the race leader, number 17, Graham McGregor, an Australian engaged to Neil Tuxworth's sister, about to settle down and face it up. Oh, and here is this group, a tremendous scrap for second, third and fourth place. Graham McGregor in second place, then Roger Marshall looks as though he's about to swoop on Roger Burnett. Steve Parrish is there. In fact, Marshall has got through. Marshall now second, Roger Burnett is losing third place. Steve Parrish, number 6, goes through into third spot. Parrish on the Yamaha. Roger Burnett pushed back to fourth position. Then it's Mick Grant and the privateer Mark Boughton having a superb ride. So McGregor from Marshall, there's number 11, Roger Marshall, Steve Parrish, then Burnett, then Mick Grant, then Mark Boughton, and behind Mark Boughton is number 144, Martin Taylor.
And these, of course, are all road-based machines, all capable of well over 135, 140 miles an hour, generating some 100-plus brake horsepower, but using racing tyres and racing exhaust pipes, but still based on the bikes that you can buy in the showroom.
And Steve Parrish pulls alongside and overtakes Roger Marshall. And the Yamaha of Steve Parrish just scorches past the Honda of Roger Marshall. Well, Bruce Cox, the man who brought this series alive this year, his idea, his project, and Bruce Cox has made an excellent new series for British race fans. What a superb race we see in every round of the MCN Superstocks series. This is not a round of the championship, it's just an invitation challenge, and these men are rising to the challenge. Graham McGregor leads, Steve Parrish is in second place, in third spot Roger Marshall, fourth Mick Grant, fifth is Roger Burnett.
And the Suzuki now out in front. These have proved the best machines of the series so far, as McGregor, number 17 on the Suzuki, leads the Steve Parrish on the Yamaha. Roger Marshall trying very hard on the Honda. The Hondas have been down on power, but as Marshall said, the only thing to do is ride it like an animal, and that's what he's doing, chasing number 6 Steve Parrish. So that's Parrish on the Yamaha, chased hard by Roger Marshall, number 11.
And less than 4 seconds separating the first 7 men in this superb dive. We're looking at second and third place men, number 6 Steve Parrish and Gary Lingham on the Myers Yamaha. He's pulled out of the race, end of the race for poor old Gary Lingham. So Gary Lingham out of this one. This is Steve Parrish, number 6. He's in second place. There is the race leader, number 17, Graham McGregor. As I say, took a heavy tumble in practice here. Steve Parrish, then Roger Marshall, number 11. He had a go to get back at Steve Parrish, and Roger Marshall is not the sort of man to give up without a struggle. McGregor, Parrish, Marshall, Grant.
That's Hewen in fourth place now, actually.
It is indeed. Keith Hewen has come up. We've been identifying Mick Grant as Keith Hewen. Well, my apologies to Keith Hewen, because what a week Keith Hewen has had. And Keith Hewen, who couldn't get the bike started at the beginning of this race, in big, big trouble. So it's McGregor, the race leader, Steve Parrish in second place, Roger Marshall in third spot. In fourth position is Keith Hewen. And let's just talk about Keith Hewen a little bit as he strives to catch that leading trio. Keith Hewen in fourth place. It was his birthday yesterday, and in a space of 3 days, Keith Hewen has had one spot. He's had one van crash, one one motorcycle crash and one car crash. In 3 days, he had trouble getting the bike started, but Keith Ewan is back in the hunt in the biggest possible way, and he's in 4th place, and we're watching for the dice for the lead. Graham McGregor and Steve Parrish, and Parrish is right with him. Steve Parrish, he proved that the Yamaha is a very quick motorcycle.
And the Suzuki, a better handling machine. Parrish having to really wrestle the Yamaha. He said it was going all over the place in practice, and you can see there are various points of the course where the Yamaha will come off the road and weave markedly.
And so this is a dice for the lead and a dice for 3rd place as well going on. McGregor, the leader on the Suzuki. Parrish behind him in 2nd place. In 3rd place is Roger Marshall, and behind Roger Marshall is Keith Ewan. So McGregor, Parrish alongside him. Parrish looking for the way through. They're on their final lap. This is the 8th and final lap. There's the dice between McGregor and Parrish for the lead, between Marshall and Ewan for 3rd place. And Parrish is looking over McGregor's shoulder. The final lap, the 8th and final lap, McGregor number 17 stretches a lead, but Parrish will pull it back on the braking going into the hairpin. Half a lap, they're closing up on some tail enders now. McGregor on the Suzuki leads Parrish on the Yamaha, and McGregor leads from Parrish. Behind, it's Roger Marshall trying to hold off Keith Ewan. What a superb MCN Superstocks series this is. McGregor, and Parrish is there with him. Parrish is going to make the challenge somewhere. He's only got 2 or 3 more corners, and it's just as desperate behind. In to Druids, the short straight underneath the bridge to Lodge, and Parrish has got to do it very, very soon, and Keith Ewan is through. Keith Ewan is through to 3rd place. Marshall and Parrish goes through on the inside. He held the better line. Can he hold it? No, McGregor swerts on the Suzuki, and Parrish is there. Parrish is going to win, I think. Steve Parrish has timed it perfectly. They charge for the line, but Parrish by a wheel. Parrish by a wheel from Graham McGregor, and Keith Ewan and Roger Marshall almost side by side as they went through. We'd have to wait for confirmation of that. Well, that was absolutely superb, and we get a chance to see this overtaking manoeuvre from Steve Parrish. What an excellent battle. McGregor, the race leader, he thought he got it in the bag, but then Steve Parrish on the Yamaha came from absolutely nowhere, pulled through. A fine ride by Steve Parrish, and a chance to see it. They come into the final corner, which is large, and Parrish goes through on the inside. McGregor again comes out quicker, winds on the power sooner, but Parrish holds him as they go over Deersley on to the checkered flag and the finishing line. So, just to repeat the result of this race, the winner, Steve Parrish, number 6, very sexy on the line. Second, number 17, is Graham McGregor, and behind them in 3rd spot just was Keith Ewan, with Roger Marshall a fraction of a machine's length behind in 4th place. What a race.
What a race. That's the result, confirming what Chris has told us. Parrish in the Yamaha first, McGregor, Suzuki.
Well, I never like finishing second. If I can do it, if I can win easy enough and do it comfortably, yeah, I'll try and win, of course.